I'm really interested in how we connect to each other in the same reality, in the same space. And so when I linked in my project idea and looking at the evolution of communication technologies and those early 2000s ideas of these futuristic systems, thinking about those dreams and then combining that with my normal way of working, it seemed to really fit with what I'd like to explore, and thinking about how we can connect to each other now with the technology we have in a reimagined or in the way it currently is, but just a little bit differently. I often work in spaces where I don't know who's going to come through the door, and I always like to make work that anyone could interact with on some level. So I work a lot with multi-sensory work, and that also goes back to thinking about not having things that are heavily tech appearing, so using things that people are familiar with that make them feel comfortable to invite them in. But I'd like to make things that people can take something away from, whether it's they really like the feel of the material or the sound or the whole interaction, just something that they connect with. It's really interesting to just look at the way we communicate, and I think if I can create a space that just makes you start to think about it, I'm not saying it's going to change the way we communicate, but just start to think why we use the tools we do to communicate, and are they the best for us? Are they caring for us? Are they really efficient? And I'm really interested in questioning that. I'm not anti-mobile phone, I'm not sort of big anti-screen. We all use screens, we can't escape them, but to create a space where you've come away from that and it opens up possibilities to question how might it be different, I think it's really important and really valuable. Yeah, there's a lot to it. I find the relationship between artist, participant, and then whatever you've created really interesting, and it shifts throughout the process, and it goes from that artist-object really strong intertwined relationship, and then that point that you hand it over or invite people into the space or offer it, it then becomes this triangle where maybe you're slightly more removed as the artist or the initial maker, or you might be part of that space where you're co-creating. Yeah, that shifting relationship is really interesting. My work revolves around participants. It does exist, but until it's activated by someone, that is most of the work. And that's where I learn the most. So being in spaces like this, where I can prototype something, put it out into the world and people can play with it, yeah, that's what I dream about doing. That's what I enjoy the most.